Alright guys, Tyler here with Waterfront Outdoors, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be having an ice talk. So I'm going to start out this video by saying that this is filmed on my new iPhone 8 Plus. I'm new to iPhones. Not so much new to Apple per se, because most of the filming I've done has actually been on this, which is why some of the filming quality isn't as good as what it should be. But as far as that goes, I want to give you guys a rundown on what I bring with me when I'm going to try a new spot ice fishing. First things first, I always bring forceps and a pair of fingernail clippers, nips to cut the line in case I'm tying stuff on. Second thing is that when you're drilling holes, generally you're going to need a way to clean them out, because when it's that cold outside, using your hand gets costly. And what I mean by that is that you get dry and cracked knuckles. That's just from sticking your hand in the water when it's really cold, and then just how dry it is outside will draw the moisture right out of your hands, and it can become painful or irritating. That, and when you get your hands wet, they get cold faster, so nobody really wants that. So this is the scoop that I use generally. Little Lakeco. Little sticker here is from when I bought it at the gas station. And I put all my stuff in a 5-gallon bucket, so I'm just going through them and I'm putting them in the bucket. But it's a little plastic one here. This is like a bendable metal. You can bend this part flat if you want. I've seen people do it. But anyways, what you do is that you stick it down into the hole, catch the bottom of the ice, figure out how thick the ice is, like so. That's why I have the longer one, so I can do that a lot easier. The second thing I bring is, no matter what time of the year it is, I bring ice cleats that I can just easily strap onto my boots. This is just in case the ice is glare, like if all the snow comes off or if it's just a light dusting. Nobody likes falling on their butt. It's embarrassing. It hurts. It's just something that people don't like dealing with. Second thing I bring, no, third thing, I always bring a backup spool of fishing line. This right here is High-Vis Yellow 100 yards of 2-pound test. The reason why I have the low 2-pound test is because generally when I'm ice fishing, I fish with a lighter pound test line, so it's not as abruptive to the fish. They don't sense it, pick it up as easily. Along with that, I bring tip-ups. I bring one of these Glacier Bays, which is one that Joe actually gave me. You saw him in one of my videos. He's the guy that seems to be the fish whisperer, I guess you could say. But this has a smaller spool on it, so I tend to use this more so for trout. It would make sense to use it for something like walleye, because they don't run very far. They run about 4 to 5 feet, and so you don't really need to have all that line on there. I have one of these Polar tip-ups. The first tip-up I got is just the regular one. It has a larger spool, so this one I typically run for pike. I have a leader on both of those. They're 6-pound fluorocarbon leaders. That's because the last time that I used them, I was going ice fishing for walleye. See, I saw that in the video that I posted earlier. I usually bring, my tackle boxes. that have, you know, the necessities. I have some size 20 trebles. There's like 80 of them in there. Some depth finders, slip bobber, knots, spring bobber, little rattle and Rapala. If I hold the trebles, you hear it. It's a real quiet yet deep rattle. I bring slender spoons. Those are my favorite kind of spoons. A couple Swedish pimples. One of the slip bobbers I use. Just a Celsius slip bobber. You can buy them for like 60 some cents at Walmart and stuff. So that's about that. I bring tiny split shots, and those are good for marking your tip ups, like how deep you have them set, holding your bait down like their intended use. I have a couple spare swivels just in case I need to adjust a leader or something like that. Okay, and then next I have this rod right here. You can see it's got a spring bobber on her. A little rod. It's a ultralight, so you can pretty much assume that this is my panfish go-to rod. You guys saw that in the one video where I was catching the dinky bluegills. I have this tackle box where this one side is all my jigs, but you flip it over, I have larger treble hooks for the tip ups if I'm going for something like bass or pike. And then I have my ugly stick jigging rod with my Mitchell reel. This is actually the reel that I put on my trout rod in the spring. This is actually given to me by Blake Forner. He was in one of my first videos when we go up to Goodman for brook trout fishing. But on here I have 4-pound test mono, because that's what I use in the spring for trout fishing. And this is a medium action ugly stick, and you know, ugly sticks are known to be able to bend real well, and it's a good rod. I like it. I've been fairly happy with it. And this is a rod that I bought this year. It's a light, but it seems to be rather heavy actually for my likings. But it's a 36-inch light Frabill rod. It comes with an inline reel, but I ended up taking the reel from the panfish popper that Joe gave me a couple seasons back, and putting that on here because it's a lot easier for me to hold it like this. I don't have to worry about, because the other reel would actually catch. I didn't like that, but on here I have a 6-pound test fluorocarbon leader on here, and this is typically the rod that I put the rattle trap on, or the rattle and rip and wrap, or whatever it is. And I actually have quite a bit of this 6-pound fluorocarbon on here. Reason being is that not only can I use this line for fishing, I can take the length of the rod, the 36 inches, which is, you know, 3 feet, cut off the line at 36 inches, and then bam, I have a 3-foot fluorocarbon leader. So that's pretty handy to have a large spool amount of that. But underneath that, I have ice braid, and whenever you use braid on an open face, you want to have a mono backing to make sure that braid's not spinning loosely on your spool. And then this was a gift from my Uncle Rob, but it's always nice to have just in case, is Hot Hands, or Heat Factories, whatever you want to call them. They can give you that warmth so that you have the dexterity to do whatever you might need to do, such as tying a hook on or putting a sinker on your line. You know, just those essential things that you'll need to do when you're ice fishing. Another thing I always bring when I'm ice fishing is this. This is a power bank. It holds 10,000 mAh, which is more than enough to charge my phone back up if I need it in order to film or make a phone call, because you never know what's going to happen when you're out on the ice or in the woods. So it's important to be able to have a functioning cell phone device. Which brings me back to the new phone. Actually, Blake and I were out fishing on Lake Nakabe, and I had my Samsung Galaxy, and I don't know exactly what happened, but somehow along the lines of either him knocking a bucket over that ended up spilling into a hole, or me picking up tip-ups, I lost my phone. Which could have been really bad if we got stuck out on the ice. I don't know what his percent on his phone was, but that's just a situation that you don't want to find yourself in. Especially if you're like me, you're only God knows where, and you know, you don't want to be stuck out in the woods. It can become a very bad situation rather fast. And, well, you want to avoid that, especially when it's freezing cold outside. But as far as that goes, that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. I'm thinking of doing more of these sitting and talking videos, especially when I don't have the time to be able to go out in the field. Some of the things that are coming up is this spring, the walleye run, so hopefully we can get some open water footage this spring with when the walleyes spawn, and as well as I'm in the search of a fish tank. I want to get a pet bluegill or a perch, not sure yet. Hopefully I can get a video of me catching the fish and putting it into the fish tank and showing you guys how I'm going to keep this fish alive. So like I said, that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and catch you guys next time.